Welcome to Growth Architects, a podcast for tech entrepreneurs, product innovators, and marketing strategists. Whether you're searching for product market fit, exploring new growth channels, or trying to avoid the common startup pitfall, this is where you'll find proven strategies to fuel your success. And now, let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Growth Architects. My guest today is Homola. Ivan has made a living of creating Micro-SaaS and selling them. And today I'm going to ask him everything around his process. So Ivan, I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you very much, Federico, for having me, and happy to chat about
Well,
basics
I'm
day.
very enthusiastic about recording this episode with you, because I'm also very curious about it from a personal point of view. I'm curious to know actually how you launch and then sell your SaaS. For a lot of people, creating one and selling it is actually already enough. But it's a process that you have optimized for multiple ones. But before we kick off, would you like to tell us more about who you are and what you do exactly?
Sure, no problem. So, as I mentioned, I'm Ivan, and I call myself indie maker, which is someone who is creating these online products and make a living out of it. And yeah, I enjoyed like building stuff and creating stuff, and then I usually get it to a few hundred or even thousands of MRR. And then when I want to feel like it's time to move to the next project, I exit it via micro acquisitions, and that's what I found is a sustainable living for me in the past 7 or 8 years.
Nice, interesting. So your sweet spot is really creating things from zero to the first, usually 1,000 MRR, and then selling them, right? And you have created a whole process around it.
Yeah.
How did you start?
Yeah, I always like to build stuff, I would say. Like back then I used, I don't know, like a lot of things around me to do like on offline projects, and like keep myself busy. And yeah, in later days I realized that I could basically do the same in the online space, which I decided to join like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And first of all, I was a freelancer doing a lot of projects for websites and stuff like that for clients. Then I co-founded a developer agency, so I basically scaled it a little bit. And yeah, but one day I realized that I don't really like to be tell like what to do, and instead of, I prefer like doing things my way. And yeah, I decided to just building a portfolio of my own projects. And yeah, that's basically what I enjoy doing, and that's what's my passion. And yeah, but it's very important also for me to have the freedom of doing what I like, and this is what I like as of now. So yeah, I keep doing it.
Nice, interesting. So you started as a freelance developer actually, and doing work for others in general. But what you discovered is that this life that you have crafted for yourself really gives you the freedom to do what you like when you like it, and then not being told what to do. So you're actually very, very free in this. Do you remember what was the first SaaS that you have created?
First SaaS. I remembered I would like to mention the first project, because that was
First project.
this project. It was not a SaaS, but I remember it. It was called like Meme Box. It was like the project with all of these meme images. It was in Slovak language, so it was here in Slovakia, and it was quite popular for the time. And I found a little spin into it, like how to make money and how to grow it, and it was quite good, I would say. And yeah, it was very first project, and I learned how to program using building this project. That was also like for me the motivation to learn, because I wanted to build it so bad. Yeah, it was struggle, pain and tears back then. Like, programming without the AI it was very hard. And yeah, I learned how to do that, and yeah, that was the
Nice.
first project ever.
And is that a project that you sold?
Yes, but it was I basically used to maybe I sell all of my projects. I few I just let them die. But yeah, I sold this one for fell, but it was like really, I don't know, just 300 euros or something like that.
Okay.
It was
So
it was a
let's
bargain.
start. Actually, I would like to start from the end here, right? Where do you find people or companies that buy the projects that you sell, especially when it's something like 300 euro? Who's usually the buyer for this kind of project?
If you are talking about 300 euros back then, I don't know. There was some forum I remember in
Mhm.
Czechoslovak IT community, and I put it there basically, and someone say like, okay, I think it's a good idea, and I will buy it. And I
Okay,
was
so
like,
you also
yes,
sell
I
things
made,
on like forums, platforms,
yeah,
perhaps.
yeah.
Do you now have a more streamlined approach to the sales part?
Yeah, like back then, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it was harder to sell project. Right now, there are like specific websites like acquire.com or other smaller ones where you can basically this platform connect buyers with the sellers, and they take a cut out of it, and that's why I usually sell this project. Also, you can be active on social media like Twitter or LinkedIn, and yeah, and if you share the story about your project and how it is going, like many people will approach you with the acquisition offers, for example. So yeah, that's the way
Okay,
how to
interesting.
looking for the buyers. And also it depends on what stage are you currently in. So if it just, I don't know, a few hundred MRRs, then you probably just want to get like some money out of it, and you don't think about, like, I don't know, you don't want to spend like much time on negotiations and stuff like that. And yeah, when it's like more serious deal, you can list it on these acquisition platforms and get like multiple offers. Then you negotiate with the potential buyers about the terms, of course, about the exit price, and choose which the way is the best for you.
Nice, interesting. And what kind of projects do you see are more interesting? Or more interesting?
Yeah, it's like most easy to sell is I think the SaaS businesses,
Yeah.
because they got the recurring revenue. That's what people basically, it's just how the online business is working right now. Like many people are interested into the SaaS businesses, and because it has recurring revenue, you have a lot of data, so you can check and track like churn rate, what's the lifetime value, what's the acquisition cost, and all of these terms.
It's
And
very
based
easy
on,
to attach a price tag to it.
yeah, exactly. It's very easy to price it, and show the data or support this price by this data, and show like what the buyer can do, how he can scale it, and so on. And yeah, also the other interesting thing about this selling strategy, is to do one-time payments via the lifetime deals, which
Mhm.
are very popular in
Yeah.
the, I would say, in the indie making community as well. So basically, you can offer your SaaS business for access to your SaaS business for one-time payment instead of monthly subscription, and this is usually how you can like earn extra cash and to run the business or to extend your runway and use the feedback to optimize your product.
Yeah, that's usually a good idea to have a bit of a base, right? So the promise is that people that pay you for a lifetime value, then they would get every feature that you deploy within the years
Yeah, yeah.
after. Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds scary at the first, but usually those people are, I would say, lifetime deal addicted. So they buy like dozens of these deals, like literally like 100, and they probably never used all of them. And yeah, so they're most like supporters, and there is also like the secondary market where they share, where they resell those lifetime deals, and yeah, it's a huge community.
yeah. I think you need to have also a little bit of an early adopter mentality, right? I've done it with a bunch. For example, like one is Tidycall, which I bought when it was starting, and then actually it was at the price back then of like 6 months from Calendly. And now it's going great and has roughly the same features of it. But yeah, it can be a bit scary, obviously, because if the company closes, then you don't have anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel about lifetime deal buyers like small investors when they like
Yeah, in a way, right?
purchase the product, and then they want to get most out of it. So they suggest new features. They are active. They are talking nice about it on the internet because they want to increase the value of the product they bought earlier. And
Yeah. So yeah, it's also a way to have some buy-in from your early adopters. I think it's actually a very smart way from a lot of SaaS. So you mentioned that SaaS is now, say, is one of the tools that have more traction on these platforms and are easier to sell. And among SaaS, is there anything that you see particularly successful this year? I don't know, like AI related things or anything like that.
of course, like last year, especially, there was like still like AI buzz around us. So many projects find a way how to innovate with AI and compete with more stable market projects who got some share. And also, I would say that people are actively looking for the AI solutions. So in the search engines, like if you check the right keywords, like people are searching for keywords they used to search, but they add like AI before that. And it means that it might unlock like other opportunities for especially the indie makers to create a new project, and you use basically the AI in it, and that's the way how you can scale faster.
Nice.
And
I didn't
yeah,
know that. So basically, instead of looking for, I don't know, email marketing software, then you look for email marketing AI software.
exactly. That's what's happening. So yeah, and it's opportunity. So many people jump on this train and do it. And I think the market is saturated with these AI solutions already. And the following years, probably people will suggest that or suppose that AI is everywhere and in all of the projects. So it won't be the buzzword, and it just will be the common sense that yeah, there has to be some AI magic behind it.
Yeah. And is there anything else that you see having a special traction aside from the world of AI?
Like I think the important thing, I think the important is to follow the trends
Mhm.
on the internet.
Yeah.
Right now is the AI, of course. But think about like 3 5 years ago, it was like NFTs, and people uh, have done a lot of NFT related projects. There was a lot of games, for example, with some NFT or crypto in it. Then before that, it was crypto and ICO, initial coin offering, when people like make crazy money. So yeah, there are a lot of trends, and I think that's very important to follow these trends. And it's the way how you can be early into the market. If you follow the Twitter, if you follow the Reddit, and the way this way you can predict that people will search for it, and the interest in the market will search for it. And you don't need to have so much marketing skills or marketing efforts, because if the whole industry or the whole trend is going up, it's easier for you to join this wave with your project, because the market will push it.
For sure. Well, you might argue that actually doing the right market research is already a marketing skill in itself, right? So
Yes.
you're saying, and I think that that's also a nice bridge to the other part of like, where do you find ideas? You would say that actually the push from the market, the push from like buzzwords that you hear or interesting topics on platforms like Reddit, for example, is usually what give you the idea to then create your own solution and your own tool.
Yeah, like this process is changing over the time. Like when I started, like my biggest problem was that I thought that my idea has to be unique. So if I had an idea in my head, I went to the Google and find, yeah, someone else is doing it. So I was like, okay, damn, someone else is already doing it. I can't do the same thing. And it takes basically the years, and I didn't commit it to any idea because it already existed. And now, like 10 years ago, I'm like, if this idea doesn't exist, okay, something is bad. So maybe market isn't ready. Maybe you need to educate the market and stuff like that. So yeah, the best way how to do that, I think, these days is to, if you think about the distribution first. So you don't think about like ideas, you think about what industry or topic are you interested in, and join these communities and basically build an audience around yourself, or have the foot in the door, basically the access to this group of people, and then they learn about their problems and what tools they are using correctly and what can be done better and stuff like that, and build the products based on this. So yeah, so don't think about those ideas, but think about the distribution first and how you will basically scale
Okay.
this project. If you find the topic or the industry that you are interested in and want to keep learning, then I suggest to do like many projects for the same audience. So you don't go from lawyers to doctors to, I don't know, IT guys. If you are basically interested in IT, then you just ship these projects for this target audience.
So you acquire a very vertical knowledge of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
industry and the same problem that you're solving. Because actually, my question would be: so you said that you usually starts from doing research on platforms like Reddit, but then you also mentioned becoming very familiar with the problem that you're solving. So I would understand that actually the customer research doesn't stop there, right? But there is also something else that you do while developing the product. So what do you do to really nail down the problem that you're solving?
Yeah. There are like also multiple strategies how to do that. The one I prefer is to basically ship your project really, really fast and then get feedback from this target audience. Because these days it doesn't take like months or years to develop some project like it used to be. You can basically do it in 1 week, and that should be your goal for the initial minimal valuable product. Like do it in 1 week and then put it in front of your audience, get the feedback, and iterate based on this feedback. And once you don't have any revenue or paying customers in 1 month, then maybe it's time to think about it, and maybe you should move to another idea. So yeah, that's the way how I approach it. I just try to ship this product fast and get it out as soon as possible to receive feedback and iterate based on that.
Okay. And so your research is already on something like an MVP that people can give feedback to.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Interesting. And is there anything else that you do when it comes to launching the first idea, right? What would you say is the best thing to test in terms of MVP? Do you have something like a landing page? Do you have maybe 1, 2, 3 features? What's the ideal combination to like? What can you do in 1 week?
Yeah, that's a great question. And sometimes it's just the landing page, as you mentioned. It might be just the landing page and the way how you get the initial uh, traffic on this website. Yeah, you can basically approach the strategy, fake it until you make it. So you can act like, okay, this product is ready. You can just click here and sign up to try this out, and then you will find out, okay, we are launching soon or something like that. Yeah, so you can just have a landing page and then some get traffic on this landing page. You can use paid ads, but you can also share the link on these forums then where your target audience is hanging and ask for the feedback, and then you can track the conversion rates and decide based on them. But even the better strategy is to talk to your customers like directly, especially online via the calls, and do these customer interviews, because then you learn a lot of stuff on the way before launching your product. So you can have a landing page, and you can basically outreach your target audience. I do it usually on LinkedIn, and I'm not using any automations or any like strategy to scale it. I do it like, I call it like door-to-door sales
One
on
by
LinkedIn.
one.
So you just send connection request and message, explain what you are trying to do, and usually those people see that, okay, this is not like automated message or AI generated, so they are friendly and they want to talk to you because you are trying to solve, you are trying to help them, and yeah, get some product and build on their feedback, and they like to share it. So I try to schedule like as many calls as possible to discuss this problem and learn about this problem. And yeah, based on that, I will create usually the minimum viable product, which might be the week or might be the 2 weeks, 1 month, I don't know. But yeah, it should be like as soon as possible or as fast as
Okay,
possible.
got it. So there is also part of like qualitative research, talking to people face to face on a video call, like for example this one. And what you said is that what works well for you is, for example, approaching LinkedIn people on LinkedIn. You
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
that they're okay. Yeah, so I think that's a
You can
great tip.
basically filter what they are doing and find the best fit for you. And if you just scroll all of your connections on LinkedIn, like I'm sure that you can find someone already who you are already connected with and initial conversation that way. So you don't need to even like outreach to out of like outside of your connections, and just go through people who are connected with already.
Nice. Yeah, I think you gave us a lot of great tips, by the way. Yeah, just to have a bit of a recap of all things that you shared. You mentioned that, well, one of the strategies that works very well to launch micro tools or micro SaaS is, first of all, to see where there is traction, right? And the way you do it is usually by looking at forums like Reddit. You said that nowadays there's a lot of platforms that do easy matchmaking between buyer and seller. One of the things that you do recommend is to follow trends, because usually the trend is already what's doing the marketing for you. So there's no need for a huge marketing push from that point of view. And then the other thing that you said is that you start from doing a bit of research, but then there's also a lot of validation. And this validation doesn't need to be, like a huge effort. Often is something like landing page validation or talking to people, and then optimize for a couple of weeks until you have everything. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I would like to ask you now, well, Can you share a success story, something that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, sure, of course. So basically, the most I'm proud of is that I found a sustainable way how to repeat this over and over the time, because I found, or I talked to many other indie makers who usually like burn out after the one or two projects that they weren't able to get any traction, or then they run out of the money and stuff like that. So right now I'm basically living, make a sustainable living out of it, because I can predict like my capabilities to scale this project to some numbers and then sell it, or just keep pushing it until I feel it's my power to get them. And yeah, I done these like in the couple of last 2 years. I done like 4 these acquisitions, and totally I made a few hundreds of thousands of euros. So I'm not a millionaire, but as I mentioned, it's the way
But
how
it's
I make
going
a
well.
sustainable living. It's going well, and what I rely and what I think is that one way I found the idea or project that I will be able to scale and just not sell. That's my like ultimate goal. And yeah, also I bet on my skills, and my the best skill is in this initial stage where I basically do good at the research and I love the building stuff and so on. I'm not really good in the next phase when you need to keep pushing marketing and get your attention, and
Yeah, the growth
it's
part and scaling.
the growth part, and when you need to outsource stuff and manage people and stuff like that. I really like love to play with the product. So and I know it's my strong skill. So I
You
want to
have
focus on
identified
that.
what you're good at, and then build on top of that.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
What is so far, say, the company that you have sold for the highest monetary value?
I done a few around like 50k, and yeah, like recently we sold, me and my co-founder, because usually I work on this project with someone else as well.
Okay.
So when I found some interesting like company to who wants to join me on some idea, then we make a small team usually and like, do it together for a couple of months. And yeah, we done this with one project. It's called Short Faceless, and it's a AI tool to generate these short form videos when you see on everywhere on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. And just the images with text and AI voices, and you put all this together. And yeah, that I really like to building this stuff. And I especially I ran my own YouTube channel for the first time when I tried this project. And yeah, I'm keep getting like hundreds of views for these shorts about dinosaurs. So it's really nice to see it's even working.
Nice, exciting. So you created a YouTube channel just to test the
Just to
tool that
test
you
it
were
out.
building, and then it went very well.
Yeah, exactly. And I learned a lot of stuff about dinosaurs. So it's the way how it
Cool.
works.
Nice. Well, what's the name of the tool again?
The shorts faceless.
Short Faceless. Oh, I'm sure I will
Yeah.
check it out. But Ivan, it has been a brilliant conversation so far. So I want to thank you again for your time. What's the best way for people to know more of what you do?
Yeah, so feel free to follow my journey on Twitter or on LinkedIn. And yeah, if you feel like you want to join me for this idea or a project, just send me the message, and yeah, happy to talk.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time.